You're welcome back again to my channel. My name is Ajibola, and you're welcome to the part 2 of this video where I'm going to show you how I coupled the pieces together to make this beautiful Ankara ball dress. So here I am, guys, with all the pieces of the dress. I went ahead to interface the front of the garment, just the front. Guys, you can do that for the back as well, but I felt there was no need for that. So I had already cut out the lining as well. So we'll be starting with the top of the dress first. So I'll be doing the front part first. As you can see here, I am setting aside the lining away from the main fabric, and now I'm trying to place the main fabric so that I can just take it to my machine and sew it up. So here I am with the middle panel and the side panels of the top with the lace for the middle panel. Here I am placing the lace on top of my middle panel of the top and pinning it down. Guys, you need your pins when you are working because they are the little hands that would help keep your work intact when you are sewing or doing other things on it. So here I have my trimmings, and I got 3 yards of it like I told you guys earlier on. So I am placing my trimmings in a way that, since it's a very thin, it's not it's not wide in width, it's a thin um trimming. So I left in about ½ inch space from the edge of the pieces, the center panel pieces, so that when I join the side to it, it will still show. I hope you're getting what I am trying to say here. I didn't put the trimmings exactly at the edge because when I eventually sew it up, it's going to hide. The beauty of the trimming would not come out. So I left some space from the edge of my panel and place my trimming neatly and straight. You need to make sure that your trimmings are straight on it. And here I am, I'm placing the side panels of my front bodies on the middle panel with my pins. And now for the next stage, you want to carefully pin the sides of your top of the front bodies with the center panels carefully and neatly, so that when you sew the side panels, the trimmings will not be too covered. At least a little proportion of it will be peeking out of it. And I went ahead also to prepare my linings of the front bodies, just stitching, joining the panels together. And for the back, you don't need so much effort. All you just need to do is to sew in 1 inch dart leg for the back and also for the lining. So in order not to make this video too long, I decided to join my linings to my main fabric by sewing the necklines neatly and the sides together. As you can see here, I also went ahead to join the shoulders of the back to the front neatly, leaving the armhole opened and the half cut side open. So here is the bottom part of the dress. It also has, the front part has 3 panels while the back has 2 panels, and I have laid my lace carefully and neatly on the center panel of the dress. Here I am showing you the side panels of the bottom part as well. So we're just going to repeat what we did for the top parts of the dress. I am placing my trimmings neatly with my pins on the center panel, and I have gone ahead to cut out a separate lining just for this middle panel of the bottom part, and I'm going to join this at the bottom area, the M line area of the dress. I'm just going to stitch 1/2 inch and turn it in by 1 inch or whatever hemming allowance you've left for yours. So here I am after joining the 3 panels together neatly. I went ahead to hem the remaining two panels so that it will align with the length of the middle panel. I made use of a lining for just the middle panel so that it's just going to give it a neat look. Now I'm trying to fix my inseam pocket, and I'm going down by 1 inch from the edge, from the top part. So I'm placing my pockets right side facing each other. And note, you'll be making use of two pockets for the front and also two pockets for the back. I am also going to do the same for the other edge as well. I'll be going down by 1 inch, and I'll be placing my other pockets immediately after the 1 inch. So after pinning the pockets, I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine to stitch it up like this, and open it and top stitch it for both pockets. So here I am notching my zipper allowance for the back of the dress, and I'm just going to repeat the same pocket process I did for the front, also for the back. And remember, you have two panels for your back. So after that being done, I'm just placing my back panels on the front panel, right side facing right side, neatly, as you can see me doing here. You make sure that the pockets are aligned together. Then I'm pinning, and I'm going to use my sewing allowance to stitch all through from the top round the pocket and down. And mind you, I've already hemmed the bottom part of my back panel as well, so you're doing that for the other side as well. So here I am marking 2 inches away from the trimmings of the center panels on both sides. And this is because if you look at the picture of the dress we're making, you will notice that the gathering at the waist did not start at that area. So from those marks being made on both sides, I'm going to run a very, very loose stitch from there all through to the notch I made at for the zipper allowance, because you don't want that part to be bulky so that your zipper can be sewn on easily. So after running a long loose straight stitch, I'm just gathering up the bottom part carefully, and I am shaping out the top part of the dress using the girl's measurement, and also sewing the back to the front of the dress together. I'm just trimming off the excess length measurement, leaving sewing allowance of ½ inch. Now I went ahead to join the top to the bottom part neatly and carefully. For the petticoat of the dress, here I am cutting out the width of my lining using the waist circumference measurement of the girl times 2, and the length 2 inches shorter than the main dress itself, because you don't want it peeking out. Now for the ad net of the dress, I am folding it lengthwise into two, in the sense that when I cut it, I'm going to have 4 pieces of the ad net. So before you go ahead to gather your ad nets, you're just going to sew them in twos on one side each. So you're going to have two batches of very, very long ad nets. This is the first batch already gathered, and I'm placing it on my lining 1.5 inch away from the lining, and the second layer 3 inches below the first layer. So you're going to sew them, the two layers, to your lining, and you will place your lining this way, lining facing the lining of your dress, and you pin it up to the waist seam, that waist joining. You're going to pin it up and pleat the excess to the waist lining, and after doing that, you just turn it, flip it over, and it will be this way. So now I've gone to my machine to do that, and I am showing you how it looks. You can see how neat the inside looks like. It's covering the waist seam allowance already. So now it's the zipper stage, and I'm going to go ahead to my machine to fix my zipper up. As you can see me here, I'm measuring the length of my zipper, so that I am going to know where to stop my stitching from the hem line of the dress. So at last, guys, we have gotten to the semi-final part of this project, and now this is the sleeve cutting part. I should have posted it in the part 1 of this video, but it skipped my mind. I don't know why, but anyways, here it is. Now you're going to fold your fabric into two using the arm circumference of your client. times 2, or you can times it by 3 or 4 depending on how puffy you want your sleeve to be. So after doing that, you want to mark the length of our sleeve plus 2 inches allowance for the casing of the elastic you're going to use at the hem line. So here I am marking 10 inches for the total of it all, and I'm ruling out the line. And after that being done, you're now going to use a chest measurement and dividing it by 12 in order to derive the cap of the sleeves. And here I am marking it out as well on the fabric and ruling out a line. So now after drawing out your line, you're going to connect your top of the center fold of your fabric to the end of that cap sleeve line, creating a diagonal line. And now you will use your tape measure to measure that diagonal line and find out the midpoint of that line as you are seeing me doing. And now you will make use of your pattern master ruler, the curve part of it, to draw out a curve from the midpoint to the end of your diagonal line, creating the tail of your sleeves. And using your same pattern master ruler, the curve part, you use it to create the curve, the cap of your sleeve. And that is all about the sleeve. You don't need to shape the hem of your sleeve because that area is going to be ruched with your elastic. And now you cut it out neatly. And so after cutting it out, this is the way it's going to look like. And mind you, your cutting tool of this, I went ahead to notch the center of the cap sleeve this way, so it's going to be easy for me to join it to the shoulder of my dress. And I also went ahead to mark out 5 inches away from the tail of the sleeve. This will indicate where I want my gathering to stop from. And after doing that, from those markings, I'm going to run a very loose stitch to the other side of the marking and gather it up. So guys, here I am after ruching the sleeve, that part of the sleeve. I am folding it into 2 equal parts so that I can find out the mid of my sleeve for me to join it to the mid of the shoulders of my dress. And guys, the way I sew my own sleeves to my garment, the way I do it is that I do not sew completely the sides of my dress, that is the armhole area. I leave about 1 inch away and sew the remaining sides downwards to the hem line for me to conveniently add my sleeves to my garment. And you can see me here joining it neatly to the end of the armhole of my garment neatly. So after doing that with my pins, I will just take it to my sewing machine and sew it all through from one end to the other end neatly. So I'm going to do it to my other side of my sleeves as well and come back to show you. So after joining my sleeves to the armhole together, I'm just going to run my sewing allowance on the sides to join the sides of the garment like that. Then I'm going to hem the bottom of my sleeves about 1.5 inch to create the elastic casing to give it that ruching effect. So you can see how beautiful the dress has become already, and you can see the zip beautifully installed as well. Now this is the part to add your elastic to this hem of your sleeve. And mind you, when you're sewing the hem of the sleeve, do not sew it up entirely. Just leave about half or 1 inch spacing so that you can be able to pass your elastic through it easily. Now you can see me here measuring out the accurate measurement of our round arm because I do not want it to be too tight on her. So I'll be cutting out 2 pieces of that elastic, one for each side. And so guys, you can see me using my office pin to hold the thread so that the elastic, so that I can be able to use it to pass it through that channel I've created at the hem of the sleeve easily. Now I'm looking for that channel, the opening I created, and here I am passing it through neatly. And after passing it through, make sure that you secure the ends of both elastic tightly with a stitch. And in my own case, I just like to tie it up very, very tightly. And I've attached my sleeves to the dress, and that is how it looked like. Now to the favorite part of it all, that is accessorizing the dress with the flowery applique I made from scratch. If you want to see how I made that, kindly subscribe and hit on the notification bell so that you'll be aware when I drop the next banger. So with my needle threaded in the matching color of thread, I carefully attacked it with inseam, hidden stitches, and that is how it looked like. So guys, if you enjoy this video, kindly subscribe, hit on your notification bell, and like this video. See you on my next tutorial. Bye.